looking to pick up 5 points here. Now it's all about who's going to be galloping for the line for the minor points behind. Walker approaching the line, and an easy 5 points. You wouldn't get an easier present than that, would you? From the left-hander, it's quite a short approach to the line.
An intelligent move there by Jessie Walker, nets up the maximum points in this sprint. And we'll just have to wait and see who takes the minor places.
Looks like Juniper crossing the line. Oh, tight, wasn't it? Juniper, I think, just about got over the line there for the 4 points. There's one more sprint to go in this sprint competition, in the women's competition. Confirming the result, it was Walker for 5. Juniper got the 4. Now, Mann and Lloyd got the 3. Danny King got the 2. Laura Trott the 1. So Mann and King, remember, and Danny King were both delayed with that early crash, but now they're in the mix.
So Jessie Walker just coming up a Unicorn Hill yet again. She's been joined by Nikki Juniper, and that looks like Eleanor Barker for the Matrix Fitness in the dark blue there also.
So 3 riders now with a slight advantage as they hear the klaxon, ready for sprint number 2. Well, Nikki Juniper looks over her left shoulder to see who she's got for company, and right in her wheel is Eleanor Barker, the young Welsh talented bike rider who's been a junior world time trial champion and a world senior champion for the Team Pursuit. So that's a good move. Barker going away, Walker's tucked in at the back, but further back we could see Trott near the front of the peloton.
This is a good move by Juniper, Barker and Jessie Walker. Jessie Walker already has maximum points from the first sprint, but the gap is opening. It does look as if that is a black and yellow jersey of Danny King trying to close this one down.
Well, this isn't going to be good for Walker if she can't get up to this group, because Juniper was second to Walker in sprint number 1. So if she could win sprint number 2, that would put her in the lead, and they're getting nearer to the line as Archibald comes to the front of the very small peloton that is thinning out.
Just look at the size of the group now. 74 ladies started this round here in Redditch, the first round of 5. And it does look as if this Unicorn Hill is really taking its toll.
Juniper looking good, and she is very, very strong, and she's quite happy to continue with the workload here because she knows this is to her advantage. Getting near to the line again, Juniper wants to get maximum points.
So Juniper is at the front for Giordana Triton, but just look at the gaps that are starting to appear at the back as Abby May Parkinson just comes round the corner to start her effort up Unicorn Hill.
Evidence of hemorrhaging at the back as the field fractures into several different groups. Face of agony by Katie Archibald as she's dragging the rest of the riders along, coming up and passing the back markers. Juniper crosses the line first for 5. Second was Eleanor Barker, and Jessie Walker, well, she came over the line for 3rd place. Katie Archibald brought the field through the finishing line to claim 4th spot, and there is the result confirmed. Juniper gets a 5 from Barker, Walker, Archibald and Trott. So let me just tidy up the overall standings then in the sprint competition here in Redditch. Nikki Juniper, the winner with 9 points, just 1 ahead of Jessie Walker. 3rd, Eleanor Barker. 4th, Mann and Lloyd. And 5th, Laura Trott. Now the big one. We're playing for the final sprint now to decide who is going to win this opening leg.
So we have 5 riders in the leading group here in round 1 in Redditch. Juniper at the front, Danny King in 2nd place. Then comes the Scot, Katie Archibald, and 2 riders from the Matrix Fitness team, and that's Barker and Trott at the back. So
we could start to speculate on the possibility of some teamwork here as they're coming up to the line, and that is the bell. Just 1.4 kilometres to go. Now then, will Barker try and lead Trott out, or will Trott try and lead Barker out? Or will Danny King spoil the party and try and jump clear? Lots to think about as they're into this final lap.
Well, Juniper really is an esteemed company here. All the 4 riders behind have won world titles, Olympic titles, and you know, it's great to see these girls in the action here in Redditch.
Well, they've got about 100 metres the advantage. There's still the opportunity, of course, for a rider to try and jump clear if the 5 start finessing.
Well, just look, they're starting to finesse already. Nobody wants to take it on. They all know each other very well. And just look behind, the bunch behind are starting to hunt them down. It does look as if we're going to have a group of almost 20 girls.
Well, they've reeled in their quarry, status quo, and the field reassemble, and the pressure being applied on the front by another rider.
Yeah, taking this opportunity, a lull in the action, the 5 riders in front just looking at each other. Jessie Walker in 2nd place for RST, already featuring in the sprints tonight already.
But in the pale blue with the red and white on the front, representing Icon Mazda, is Louise Maillet. Another rider that packs a good finishing sprint.
A very small group now as they head along Hugh Road, and they'll soon be turning left, but we saw that slight accident earlier on in this race, and then they'll head up a Unicorn Hill which has its steep incline. It does look as if the Matrix fitness team are taking control before this left-hander, with Eleanor Barker, the young 20-year-old from Cardiff, at the front leading Laura Trott.
And this is really underlining what we were speculating on early on. Barker at the front, and she's got Trott in her wheel. Now they're trying to whip the pace up to set Trott up for the sprint. But Danny King, who's now back after a terrible accident that saw her lose months and months off the bike, is trying to re-establish herself right at the top of the women's racing scene. And swinging towards the finishing straight, it's Trott that's going to lead this one out. Trott looking very good, and now she comes up to the line. Trotty takes it on the line. Danny King second, and Nikki Juniper was third. Well, there's just no stopping Trott. First time she's ever ridden in a round of the Tour Series, and she's opened up her account with a win.
Yeah, fantastic result there. He wins by just over 2 bike lengths from Danny King. A good team effort from Eleanor Barker, and Matrix Fitness will be pleased with that.
So Trott just freewheeling here away from the start-finish funnel, and a victory under her belt. Second place King, third Juniper. So victory for Laura Trott and Matrix Fitness in round 1. The double Olympic champion, a hugely popular winner wherever she triumphs on these shores.
Matrix Fitness, it is Laura Trott.
Well, well done, Laura. You kind of manipulated that race entirely so that it suited you in the end, didn't you? And made it work for you.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I just sort of wanted to sit in. I haven't been feeling too great recently. I've had 2 weeks where I've been I got sick, I then fell off my bike and then got sick again. So I didn't really know how I was going to feel. And obviously Eleanor Barker, my teammate, was in the lead group with me. So it worked out quite well for us. She could keep attacking because that's the kind of rider she is. So that kind of worked for us. And then coming into the end, we were sort of just sitting ducks and we were all just looking around. And the group behind us actually caught us. But Eleanor gave me a perfect lead out at the end. She just kept it fast enough that I managed to stay in front of everybody, and I knew coming around that last corner, as long as I was first round, then I'd be fine, and I knew I'd be able to win.
Places in the top 4 for Nikki Juniper and Ellie Dickinson went a long way to putting their Giordana Triton team at the top. Juniper also won the sprints competition on the night.
Well, Laura Trott doing what Laura Trott does best and winning a race. She's a class act, isn't she, your teammate?
Yeah, you can definitely count on Laura to deliver, and it's a great result for the team, especially because it's the Matrix Fitness GP. Get the first win, it's great.
How did you get on?
It was a tough race. It was the team plan worked, so I did my part at the start of the race, but I struggled. It was definitely a shock to the system after doing 130k road races to come in and do a crit. It's like a completely different discipline almost.
What can you tell the men about the circuit now? Because you've just ridden it. It's drying out a bit, is it? Is it safe?
Yeah, for me it was completely safe. There was a crash on the first corner, but I think that's just because, you know, when everyone's not been round it at race speed, they don't know how fast to take it. But it was fine now, it was dry. It's just hard with the climb. You're either up or down.
Either up or down. Well done, Lucy, and well done indeed to Laura Trott and the entire team. That's how the women got on. After the break, let's see what the men have got in the locker. Welcome back. The riders have been called forward to the start line here in Redditch, but will it be another 5-man procession for the series leaders, One Pro Cycling? Hugh Porter and Brian Smith take up the story.
We're looking at the field here, waiting for the flag to drop for round 2 of the Pearl Izumi Tour Series. We're in Redditch, and I must admit it evokes memories of some pretty fierce competitions over the years, and I expect tonight to be equal to those. It's all about who can depose One Pro Cycling of the overall lead. A tough course here, and there in the National Championship jersey of Australia is the Criterium champion Steele Van Hoff, and there we're looking at Chris Opie with a white and red jersey. They are the leaders at the moment after round 1.
Damp conditions that hampered the women's race earlier on today. Looks as if the men's race has got it slightly drier. We're just heading down Clive Road at the moment, slightly downhill. We go into a sweeper as we get down towards the bottom of Clive Road into Hugh Road. We're actually on Tom Cam. This is a front-facing camera on the Madison Genesis rider, Tom Stewart.
Well, the Yorkshireman Tom Stewart's going to have a busy night tonight. He ended up round one with 15 points, a 5-point cushion over his teammate Tom Scully. But there he is in the white and blue jersey. That's the Chain Reaction Cycles points jersey. Will he be in that jersey at the end of the night? I think there's one or two other riders here have got ideas of challenging him.
We can just see the Madison Genesis riders in the orange helmets massed towards the front. They had a very good round and rides with the won the individual and also the points classification. They'll be thinking of trying to win the team competition. The Tour Series is all about the team, and the riders that are winning that team competition at the moment are in the white and red jerseys as the overall leaders at this moment.
Just caught a glimpse of Chris Opie, the Yorkshireman, having a chat to his teammate. They amassed 20 points, One Pro Cycling. They've got 2 points more than Madison Genesis. And we're getting very, very near now to the end of the neutralised lap. John Mould in shot between the two Madison Genesis riders. A really good sprinter as we get another glimpse of Opie. Get ready, the taper is burning and we're almost ready to ignite the burners.
We're heading along Huel Road, and at the end of Huel Road we'll turn left. It's a sharp left under a bridge, and then we'll hit the steep climb of Unicorn Hill, and that's the hardest part of this Redditch circuit.
And the riders are fully aware, of course, of all the twists and turns on the course. They'll have done their homework really well. And previous individual winners here, we've had Gustafsson in 2012, Tom Scully in 2013, and the Frenchman Mathieu Boulot won the competition last year. But let's not forget, it's all about a team competition, this, and it was Rafa Condor JLT that clinched the crown last year. So JLT Condor will be out to try and do better than they did in the first round, and that was down on the Isle of Wight because they were down in 7th place, and that's really out of character for them. Okay, up to the line, the race is now on.
And it's Christian House for JLT Condor leading the way, one of the most experienced riders in the Tour Series. So round this chicane, and the race is off and running, and it'll be a fast pace from the start.
There he is right on the front, Tom Stewart. He's definitely setting his stall out here to try and pick up some early points. 3 sprints, and remember the final sprint for the line, the points count as well.
A couple of the riders from the Wiggins team towards the back as the rain starts to pepper down. Tom Stewart looks behind. He's got Will Bjerkveld for the Sports Club Kyoto team, just in the green and the blue and the black, just right next to him.
And there he is right on the extreme right, and they're coming up to the line. They're hearing the klaxon. Now then, 1.4 kilometres away from the first sprint, and the points will be available.
So round the chicane, and it's Rally JAC leading the way. I look behind and back to the front. It's actually the white and red jerseys of the series leaders of the Tour Series competition.
And you can see them taking these corners pretty quickly now as their confidence is starting to grow. Up the long climb as they're edging nearer to the line. And remember, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1 are available.
So it's One Pro Cycling at the front in the leader's jersey. Just behind Will Bjerkveld is still there for Sports Club Kyoto. A couple of riders from a Rally JAC moving towards the front. Christian House still in there in the black and the yellow just on the left for JLT Condor.
And quite a few riders from Rally GAC starting to come through. There's a bit of argy-bargy on the right there. The NFTO rider was pushing the other rider away, and also hampered there was Tom Stewart, who was the overall leader in the Chain Reaction Cycles points jersey. Now this is a move by Lampier of Rally.
So it's Steve Lampier on the front for Rally GAC. They've got numbers towards the front. They had the individual win last year in the form of Bulo. So it does look as if they want to try and do something here in Redditch again.
And that's a perfect time to try and distance yourself off the front of the peloton. And it's all a matter of positioning yourself to try and grab these points. So Lampier now working hard. That's an indication of just how hard it is. He's out of the saddle, or he was dancing on the pedals, but Lampier is now being swept up, and now it's Kanitsky, the Frenchman, who's a triple world champion, looking to try and add to the 5 that he picked up in ride in the Isle of Wight. Yes, Kanitsky crosses the line first and gets maximum points. Now on comeback, we'll have to see where Stewart finished there. He was either 4th or 5th, and I'm just wondering whether that little bit of argy-bargy made him lose his position.
Well, no matter what, the pace is up. Ed Clancy there for JLT Condor just towards the back.
And there is the official result of Sprint 1. Morgan Kanitsky from Rally